My experience in this field comes from several conflicts: Bougainville, Naga areas of northeast India and Sri Lanka. In the Naga and Sri Lanka cases, there's not been very much success in pulling together very diverse interest groups that are seeking self-determination. In Bougainville, by contrast, there has been some success. And part of the reason, I think, is that in Bougainville there was a degree of parity between the Bougainvillean seeking self-determination and the much larger Papua New Guinea government who opposed any self-determination for Bougainville. But the fact that there was a degree of parity which made negotiation between the two sides possible was a factor itself in helping the quite diverse Bougainville groups who were not united in seeking self-determination. There was one strand of Bougainville opinion which was very strongly in favour of external self-determination, independence, secession from Papua New Guinea. But in the civil war that had preceded the peace process, a 9-year civil war, Bougainvilleans had become very divided. A significant group of Bougainvilleans opposed independence for fear of what might happen to them in an independent Bougainville dominated by the revolutionaries, the secessionists. So they strongly supported continued integration into Papua New Guinea, but under a form of internal self-determination, a high level of autonomy. So to get the two sides to agree to a single negotiating position before negotiating with Papua New Guinea was very difficult. And it was achieved in the end through a process where advisors to the two sides worked for several days, identified the main options for a political settlement, ranging from immediate independence through to immediate integration into Papua New Guinea and everything in between. We came up with 9 options, and we then evaluated those options against what were the real needs of Bougainville and the real concerns of Bougainvilleans. We came up with a list of about 20 such needs and wishes, and we evaluated the 9 options for a political settlement against how well they met a particular need of the 20 that we listed. We were able to reduce this to a table, a matrix, which is in a 2002 Accord publication about the Bougainville peace process. And the matrix listed the 9 options for a political settlement across the top, and then on the left-hand side were the 20 factors that needed to be taken into account. We evaluated each factor in terms of how valuable it would be to achieving the particular political outcome, high, medium or low. And this resulted in an assessment in favour of a mid-range compromise, a deferred referendum on independence, high autonomy until the referendum was held, and then autonomy continuing after the referendum, if that was the vote in the referendum, but independence if the referendum resulted in a vote for independence. And we then took, the advisors then took this matrix with some explanation to a combined Bougainville leadership which debated the issues, considered the options and accepted the assessment. So here was an example, one of the few I know around the world, where opposing parties were able to come together, reach a compromise on a political settlement, and then negotiate that with Papua New Guinea. So this was a way of getting those seeking self-determination to agree on just one position, and that's often one of the big difficulties in self-determination disputes. It's to get those seeking self-determination to adopt a coherent position.